Zelensky says the evidence clearly refutes those claims, and he says Russia should be stripped of its UN Security Council seat as a result, the veto power that comes with it, too. Halyna Yanchenko is a member of Ukrainian parliament and the deputy head of Ukraine's parliamentary majority. She's in Western Ukraine. Hi, Ms. Yanchenko. Good to see you again. I want to start off with the call that President Zelensky made to the UN today to act more forcefully on Russia, specifically expel it, for example, from the Security Council. The process to do that is by no means easy. Why is it, from your viewpoint, important?
Well, actually, all the pictures and videos we saw from Bucha massacre, means that we are not dealing with state anymore. We are dealing with terrorist state. Russia, a new Nazi country, and Nazis should be treated just as they were treated during the World War II. So we believe that it's very important to expel Russia from all the international organizations. You should also keep in mind that in many of those organizations, the decisions are being taken by all members, and a decision, or a opinion of a single state country or state member can actually block the whole decision. And that's what we see in many cases. Russia, being a member of many international organizations, are blocking support to Ukraine, blocking resolutions that state that Russians are killing Ukrainian civilians and torturing kids and raping women. So this is not acceptable. It means that the new world, the new realities need actually new rearrangement. Moreover, we believe that it's very important for the civilized world to actually cut all their businesses and all the relations with the state and with society, who can do such a horrible atrocities. So personally, I believe that what, for example, Germany did, expelling majority of Russian diplomats from their country, is a very important signal that, that terrorists, that people who do atrocities are not welcome in the civilized world. And I believe that's what Canada should do, USA should do, United Kingdom, but also all the countries that believe that they are civilized countries and that stand for democracy, for human dignity, for human rights, which Russia severely abuses in Ukraine nowadays.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because Canada so far, for example, the Foreign Affairs Minister has said that they aren't going to expel the ambassador from Russia because they want to be able to still have some lines of communication open. What do you say in response to that?
I'm saying that if we were talking 80 years ago, there was no way that Canada would keep Hitler's diplomats in your country. Am I correct? Do you believe the same things? I think yes. No one wanted to actually to deal with Nazis because they were criminals. They were torturing people, killing civilians, actually doing, massive executions, bombings of peaceful cities in Europe. And then we see that Nazism is back to Europe again. But now it's Russians who are doing these atrocities to civilians, to a peaceful sovereign country, which Ukraine is.
There are also,
I think...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, pardon me.
I think that Russian diplomats should be expelled from all the civilized countries, from all the countries which are standing for Western values, because Russians are actually abusing these values. And I also wanted to tell you that we hoped for some diplomacy. We, as Ukrainian authorities, are still in a kind of negotiation with Russians, but we see that Russians are lying all the time. That Putin is a pathological liar, that he says one thing both to his nation, but also to world media and civilized world, and then he breaks everything he says. Let's recall a week before the large-scale invasion in Ukraine, Putin was giving press conferences saying that West is pushing on Putin, and there is no way that Russia will invade in Ukraine. And just a couple of days later, what they did was bombing peaceful cities. I woke up on February 24th in my bed in Kyiv because of explosions in 5 a.m., 5 o'clock in the morning, after Putin was giving press conferences that they will not invade in Ukraine. We negotiated humanitarian corridors with Russians. And what they did not follow these negotiations and did not follow these agreements. They were shooting women and children in the humanitarian corridors. You cannot imagine what these people felt being shot in humanitarian corridors. After you feel that you are almost there, you are almost in the safe place, leaving the city under shelling, you are going through humanitarian corridor, and Russians are killing you in humanitarian corridor. This is the war crimes. So there is no way that you can, keep a dialogue with murders, with criminals, because they are not about, dialogues. They are only about the language of force. So the only thing that Canada can really do to stop these atrocities, to stop this bloody war, is to help Ukraine with heavy weapon, with jets and tanks. Actually, if we received this heavy weapon the very first week of war, the war would be already ended. Because Russians, unfortunately, we see that Russians understand only the language of force. And that's what they apply to Ukrainian civil society, civilians, to children.
Can I just, sorry, I'm so sorry, I just want to make sure.
Children with their hands tied. Like what? What for? What kind of soldiers are there if they tied the hands of children? If they are raping little girls? What kind of people? What kind of dialogue you want to have with them?
That's why I want to ask you just about more specifically, because you're speaking to a Canadian audience, and I know that there's the ask for more help when it comes to lethal aid, for weapons. The government here and other governments have also applied sanctions on Russia, but we see, for example, that their dollar has rebounded. So when it comes to the question of what will actually stop Russia from doing this, what is your ask of Canada?
My ask is, number one, is military aid, especially the heavy weapon. We received javelins and in-laws, and we are thankful for that. But you can't, find with cruise missiles which hit over 100 kilometers, because Russians are hitting like Kyiv region, but also Kharkiv, Chernihiv, and Lviv region from the Black Sea. It's a long distance, and we need serious weapon to protect our people, to protect also our stores with food, so there is no hunger in our country. So we need lethal weapon. We need like serious kind of weapon like tanks, air defense, but also military jets. Number two is tightening economic sanctions. Yes, some economic sanctions were applied to Russia, but it was like a half decision. For example, blocking Russian banks from SWIFT was a great idea, but only 7 out of 300 Russian banks were banned from SWIFT. So that is why dollar is rebounding in Russia, because these economic sanctions were not total. It was, 7 out of 300. Really? What kind of economic sanctions is that? So, I think that all Russian banks should be blocked from SWIFT. Again, you need to send a clear signal to Russia that if they are not a civilized society, if they are breaking any rules, even the rules of war, then there is no way that that civilized world will accept them as another society that can be a partner or anyhow in the future. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Yanchenko.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.